Good morning, friends, and welcome to Preschool Storytime with Miss Natalie. Can you believe it's already March? Which is, let's see, if February is the second month of the year, then March would be the 1, 2, 3, the third month of the year. Good job. All my friends are so smart. This week, we are going to talk all about fairy tales. We have a silly song to sing, and we have another fun yoga pose to learn. Well, I can't wait to get started. So are you ready for our first story? Neither am I. Let's get started. This book, friends, is what we call a twisted fairy tale. That means that instead of reading the story of the three little pigs from the pig's point of view, we're going to learn about it from the wolf's point of view. I wonder if he's still going to be a bad guy. What do you think? Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or they think they do, but I'll let you in on a secret. Nobody knows the real story because no one has heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. It's not our fault that wolves like to eat animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. It's just the way we are. I bet if cheeseburgers were bad, we're cute and fluffy, people will think that you're bad too. Like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny with it when I had a terrible cold. And I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. This neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright. He built his house out of straw. So of course I knocked on the door, it fell right in. Now, I don't walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? There was no answer. I was about to go home without my cup of sugar when my nose started to itch. And I felt a sneeze, and I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig. He'd been home all along. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying around. So I ate it up. Just think of it like a big cheeseburger. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my sugar. So I went to the second pig's house. He was a little smarter. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the bell in the stick house, no answer. I called out, Mr. Pig, are you in? And he said, Yo away, wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. I just grabbed the doorknob and I felt another sneeze coming. And I huffed, and I snuffed, and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed. And you're not gonna believe it, but this guy's house fell down too. As the dust cleared, there was the second pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now you know food will spoil if you just leave it out, so I did the only thing there was to do. I ate him too. Now, I was awfully full. My cold was getting better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the brother of the first two pigs. He must have been the brains of the family. He built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the house, no answer, so I called, Little pig, are you in? And you know what that little pig said to me? Get out of here, wolf. Don't bother me again. How rude. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't even give me one little cup for my dear old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed again. Then the third little pig said, And your old granny can sit on a pin. That's very rude. Now, I'm a calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go crazy. So of course when the cops show up, I'm trying to break down the pig's door, and I'm huffing and puffing and making a scene. The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out I had 2 pigs for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow sugar didn't sound exciting, So they jazz it up with a huff and a puff and I'll blow your house down. And that's it, the real story. I was framed. But maybe you can loan me a cup of sugar? Well, what do you think? Do you think that the wolf is telling the truth? Or do you think that the pigs are telling the truth? I'm not sure who to believe. Our song today is about a naughty little bunny that goes hopping through the forest, but something happens to him because he does not listen. Have you ever heard the story about little bunny Foo-Foo? Well, we'll sing it together, and this is a song that we use our bodies to sing, so pay attention, use your eyes and your ears, and try and follow along. Are you ready? Let's count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Little bunny Foo-Foo hopping through the forest, scooping up the field mice and popping them on the head. Down came the good fairy, and she said, little bunny Foo-Foo, I don't want to see you scooping up the field mice and popping them on the head. I'll give you 2 more chances to be a good bunny, and if not, I'm gonna turn you into a monster. Little bunny Foo-Foo hopping through the forest, scooping up the field mice and popping them on the head. Down came the good fairy, and she said, little bunny Foo-Foo, I don't want to see you scooping up the field mice and popping them on the head. I'll give you 1 more chance to be a good bunny. If not, I'm gonna turn you into a monster. Let's see if little bunny Foo-Foo listens. What do you think? Little bunny Foo-Foo hopping through the forest, scooping up the field mice and popping them on the head. Down came the good fairy, and she said, little bunny Foo-Foo, I don't want to see you scooping up the field mice and popping them on the head. I gave you 3 chances to be a good bunny, and now I'm going to turn you into a monster. Can you show me your best monster face? This book, friends, is an old book, and it is called The Princess and the Pea. And this is one of my favorite books, because I like all the animals in this one. Once there was a prince who wanted to marry a princess. But the queen insisted it had to be a real princess. So they traveled all over the world to find one. In the East, the queen said, a real princess must be able to play 3 musical instruments quietly at once. This princess is too loud. In the West, the queen said, a princess must be able to dance without flattening and bending the grass. This princess is too clumsy. In the North, the queen said, a true princess must only eat small bites and never ask for seconds. This princess is too greedy. And in the South, a real princess must dance with the grace of a swan. This princess cannot possibly be real. This queen is very picky. And so they traveled home. The prince was sad he had not found a real princess, and the queen was mad. That night, there was a terrible storm. Thunder roared and the rain fell heavy. When the storm was at its worst, there was a knock on the door, and the old king answered it to find a princess. She was dripping wet, and she said, oh, may I please stay the night tonight? It is so rainy outside. The king said, a real princess? Well, you must meet the queen. The queen took one look and said, this can't be a real princess. But I am, the princess insisted. And the queen had an idea. Why don't you stay the night and we'll discuss it tomorrow. The queen went to the guest room and she took the mattress off and put 1 key on the bed. Then she piled 20 mattresses and 20 feather beds onto the bed. The princess walked in. "Oh, I must sleep very well tonight with all these comfy bed mattresses." "Sleep well, my dear," said the queen. The princess climbed up and lay down, but she could not get comfy. She turned to the left, she turned to the right, she laid on her back, and she laid on her belly, but she did not sleep. In the morning, the queen asked, "How did you sleep, my dear?" The princess said, "I did not. It was a horrible rocky bed, and my body is covered in bruises." "Well," said the queen, "this must mean you're a real princess. Only a princess would have such delicate skin that she would feel that pea under 20 feather beds and 20 mattresses." So the princess and the prince were married, and the whole kingdom was invited to the wedding. And the queen put the famous pea on display in a museum where you can still see it to this day, assuming no one stole it. Well, I think that queen is so picky. I think that you can be a princess even if you ask for seconds or you don't dance very gracefully. And now, friends, it is time for our yoga pose of the week. Last week, we learned how to be warriors. Today, we're going to learn how to be a different kind of warrior. This is called Warrior One. So to be Warrior Ones, we step onto the ground. So if you're not standing, let's stand on up. We're going to step our feet into the ground, then take one foot, spread it wide. Take the other foot and spread it wider too. You're going to turn both your feet to face in one direction, just like this. And then you're going to scoot your feet so they're kind of apart. You're going to lean into that knee and bring your arms up into the air just like this. And now you are Warrior One. And to get back down, you swing your arms to your sides. You turn one foot and the other foot to face the front. And you're going to hop them together. Are you ready to try the other side? Okay. We're going to stamp one foot out and the other foot out. We're going to turn them to face the other way this time. 1, 2. You're going to take your feet a little apart, bend into your front knee, and bring your arms up overhead. Such strong warriors, friends. And then swing your arms back down, turn one foot, then the other foot back to the front, and hop together. And it is time for our third story. So let's sit down on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Sit on down. This book, friends, is about a Cinderella, but this Cinderella lives in outer space, and it is called Interstellar Cinderella. Once upon a planetoid amid her tools and sprockets, a girl named Cinderella dreamed of fixing fancy rockets. She fixed the robot dishwashers and zoom rooms in her care, but late each night she snuck away to study ship repair. One day her wicked stepsisters came dashing in excited. "The Princess Royal Space Parade, our family's been invited." "I wish that you could come, my dear, alas no room, although, why don't you fix that broken ship and fly it to the show?" "My toolbox," Cinderella cried, "we're stranded here, I guess." Murgatroyd the mouse sent out a cosmic SOS. "I'm here, your fairy god robot. I'll make you brand new tools. You'll need a spacesuit too, of course, atomic blue with jewels. This power gem will speed your ship across the starry sky. It only lasts till midnight. After that, your ship won't fly." "Oh, thank you," Cinderella cried. She quickly fixed the rocket and tucked the sonic socket wrench inside her spacesuit pocket. She zoomed past stars and nebulae and parked beside a moon. The space parade was glorious. Each spaceship made her swoon. At last the royal ship approached. Her heart was filled with yearning. The ship of Cinderella's dreams. Oh heavens, what was burning? Uh-oh. What do you think's burning? The prince's spaceship jerked and hissed and spewed a cloud of grit. The prince hopped out. "Oh, blast, what now? My chief mechanic quit." But Interstellar Cinderella knew just what to do. She zapped with her socket wrench. The ship was good as new. The prince invited her on board. Last stop, Galactic Hall. He said, I hope you'll join me for the gravity-free ball. That sounds like fun. They talked for hours of rocket ships. The time went whizzing by. Then Cinderella saw the clock and said, I have to fly. But wait, the prince called after her. Please tell me how to find. The girl was gone, but she had left her socket wrench behind. The prince sent out transmission to the farthest edge of space. I'll search the cosmos for her. How I wish I'd seen her face. The princess ship, Gisela screeched. Her sister squealed in fear. The prince won't marry one of us if Cinderella's here. Their mother said, don't worry, he won't find her in the house. I trapped her in the attic with that useless robot mouse. The prince's cargo door revealed a broken craft within. The girl I see can fix the ship, so who would like to begin? He gave the sonic socket wrench to one, then to the other. At last they couldn't fix the ship, and neither could their mother. Cinderella struggled, but the space rope held her tight, till Murtagroyd's robotic teeth cut through it with one bite. The ship, it's leaving. Wait, what's this? She made a fast repair and strapped the rusty jetpack on and blasted through the air. She landed right beside the prince. That wrench is mine, she cried. She quickly fixed the ailing ship. The prince said, be my bride. She thought this over carefully. Her family watched in panic. I'm far too young for marriage, but I'll be your chief mechanic. Amid her fleet of sparkling ships and friends both old and new, a joyful Cinderella cried, my stars, dreams do come true. And that is the end. What a fun story. I think that Interstellar Cinderella must be really smart to fix all those rockets. Friends, thank you so much for joining me for another fun preschool story time. I hope you had a really fun time singing all about Bunny Foo Foo and reading all of our fun fairy tale books. Now don't forget, we are back in the library for story time, so you can come and see me again every Friday at 11 o'clock, or you can stay home and watch it online. Maybe you snuggle in bed with your grown-up. I hope you had a really great rest of your Friday, and I will see you next week for preschool story time. Let's say goodbye in English today. So on the count of 3, let's say goodbye. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bye!